Hello and welcome in everybody. Today we have a special reaction video, as you can see here, Diablo 4 content. One of the fellow streamers, I say fellow streamers, I'm far from actually being a good streamer, but anyway, uh, the streamer I'm following for quite some time, DarthMicrotransactions. Let's see, here he is. So if you found this video, you probably found me because of him. So if by any chance you're not following him, you should go there. Anyway, him and other few other streamers did a breakdown from Diablo 4 campfire that they had recently. I did watch it a little bit, but I was at work, so I couldn't commit to it. So I had to find bits and pieces along the way. Anyway, I found his previous video about the topic, and I very much enjoyed it because it was short and to the point compared to me, who is still speaking. Anyway, all matters aside, the most important thing is that the rework is finally here. So let's see what they have in store for us specifically in the next season. So let's start the
Good
video.
morning. Blizzard just
Good
dropped
morning.
what is probably the most important patch notes in the history of Diablo 4. So me and my assistant here this morning are going to break down the patch notes and let
Very
you know
good
what's
assistant.
going on. So first thing, Diablo 4 Season 4 PTR, what you need to know. And they say that this PTR is launching the 2nd through the 9th. It will be for PC Battle.net players only. Now, a public test round is basically like an early access beta that's available to everybody, viewers, content creators, everybody gets access to this, and it's only for 1 week in which we get instant feedback.
Nice.
This PTR is focused primarily on
Itemization.
itemization changes that will be coming
That's
within
what I
Season
like
4.
a lot.
So we get an early glimpse of that, and the basic changes are as follows. The legendary items now only have 3 affixes as compared to 4 previously.
Okay, that
2
I
on rare
heard.
items, so they're dropping down affixes by effectively 1. They're going to add
And some of them are getting
Masterwork
deleted. If I remember correctly, some of them will get deleted, some specific stats. So I'm interested to see what else they have in store.
Tempering, which we'll talk about in just a moment. Smaller pool of potent affixes, so they're
Of
removing
more
a lot of the
potent,
annoying
okay.
ones like, you know,
More
damage on
relevant,
Tuesday, meaning
relevant.
constantly here. They're trying to make the affixes actually feel like, oh wow, that's a good one when you get it. Only sacred items are in World Tier 3. Only.
Yeah, I apologize. I'll stop the video real quick. I get what he's saying. Like when I find an item, I don't even look for a perfect item. I'll you know, when you have 4 stats and you can reroll 1, usually people will be 3 out of 4, 3 out of 4, 3 out of 4. No, for me it's please give me 2 out of 4, 2 out of 4. So yeah, the less affixes, the better. You know, just to thin out the pool a little bit.
Items in World Tier 4, so no more bloat of drops. They're really limiting the number of drops. They talk about this later on, but effectively they're going to have drops be fewer and far between, but more impactful. This will also help with some storage issues they're hoping. Affix values are turned up.
Storage issues. Do you hear me? Storage issues. Do we get more stash tabs? That's the one thing I couldn't hear on any of the campfire, you know, videos. Maybe I missed it somewhere, but I'm not sure if we are getting any more stash tabs.
To be punchier. We want you and the Fiends of Sanctuary to really feel them. So they, like I'm saying, they're trying to make the items feel more impactful. They actually are doing this also by adding new affixes in general that can drop resource per second, resource on kill, lucky hit applying vulnerable. So this way we actually get new ways to apply vulnerable.
Okay, vulnerable I
life
very
per
much
hit
like.
and basic skill ranks. These are all like pretty good affixes that now have opportunities to drop on either different items or new drops entirely.
So they are removing some of them and adding some of them.
Items are now always 925 if level 95 plus drop them. So again, more impactful when you get them, less bloat, less looking items. I mean, like that's just like an 830 item power. It's trash. They're trying to make that less annoying for you. Gems they have simplified by adding core stats and simplifying what the bonuses actually do. Salvage crafting and rewards have all been tuned to significantly reduce the item drop rates. I was just mentioning this. However, it will.
I apologize for stopping again. I will stop a few times during the video, but gems are simpler, more useful, and have a much longer crafting tail. Does that mean that we will have new ranks of gems? Also, core stats and conditional bonuses have been simplified. So I'm looking forward to the gem change because if I remember I think it was actually his video. he did mention about the campfire that they didn't go into detail about the gems, just mentioned that they will become more useful. So carry on,
Be more
soldier.
impactful when you do get them. Item rerolling gold cost capped
This
when
is, oh
enchanting,
my
so
god,
you no longer,
that's
if you have an
great,
item, just infinitely go for like obscene amounts of gold. Material
amazing.
removal and consolidation. They're putting them together. All right, material removal.
Material removal and consolidation. Okay, I can say it. I can say it.
They're making
Okay.
it easier for you to keep track of your materials, and Forgotten Souls can now be from Whispers. So again, another buff to Whispers, and
Hmm.
now global rare drop
Yeah.
from Elite. So effectively, we can get these Forgotten Souls outside of.
Okay, we can get Forgotten Souls, but the one thing I'm not sure if anybody is watching this video right now. Let me know if you had trouble finding the Fiend Roses. Like, I went farming Helltide after Helltide after Helltide. When I'm very unlucky, I find like 100 of them and then get bored as hell and just go splurge it all on rerolls, get maybe one or two items with a good hit, maybe after 100 hits. It's not one item per use. It's, if I remember correctly, fiend roses are three or two or three per use. So if it were one for one, that we are. But okay. But if you know something that I do not know, let me know about the fiend roses. Anyway, let's go.
Just salvaging or something like that. A little bit easier to acquire now. Now, moving
Oh,
on
I
to
like this.
uniques. Uniques appear earlier. Some of them start in World Tier 1 and 2. So you have the opportunity to get these sort of right at the start of the game here. All
Okay.
uniques can drop in World Tier 3, so you no longer have to wait to World Tier 4 to try to get like your Tempest Roar, for instance. And the Uber uniques are now dropping at level 55 plus with a rare chance
Mm.
with a 925 item power,
Okay,
obviously.
that's
So now
amazing.
this
That's
is the
amazing.
tempering and the big portion that you're probably wondering when it comes to itemization changes here.
Okay.
You're going to notice that there's this fancy little screen. Effectively, because legendary affixes are only 3, you can now add 2 more. So it actually goes to
I love
5
this.
now, meaning you actually gain
I will stop the
affixes
video
over what
again.
the.
I know people are spamming the internet. Last Epoch, Last Epoch. I like Last Epoch. I didn't make videos a lot on it because I played it a little bit in the hardcore offline mode when the game just came out. And I didn't make much progress because other people knew a lot more about it. And let's be honest, more popular streamers had the viewership help. Let's call it like that. When I played, I was like, "Oh my god, do I need guide? Am I hitting the wrong skill slots and stuff like that?" Anyway, the crafting of Last Epoch is similar to this one, and in my opinion, and a lot of other people, like this crafting system, regardless if it looks like Last Epoch or not, if it's completely different, we needed the crafting system from the very first day. That's my opinion. To each his own.
Legendary items used to be, and this is sort of what the UI is going to look like. For this, you can add 2 tempered different affixes, and you can have 5 like reroll attempts on the affixes, and that is
Okay.
because there are categories that once you've gained these manuals, effectively, you retain them
Okay.
for unlimited use. So you can use them over and over and over again here.
Mm-hmm.
But these manuals have a
Contains
variety of
handful of X.
affixes, so you are re-rolling these manuals in
Until you
order
get
to attempt to
the
get the
specific
affix you
stat you
want
want.
off of that category
Okay.
of manual here. And you can see ancestor items can have 2
I wonder
tempered
how hard.
affixes from
I wonder how hard the manuals are to get.
different categories, whereas the sacreds, I'm assuming by
I
proxy,
apologize.
can only maybe have one of these because they say ancestor items can have 2 tempered affixes from different categories. So you
Mm-hmm.
get an item, you have 3 stats on the legendary item, you go to upgrade these tempereds, you put in a manual, you get one of the lines that the manual have to offer. Then you do it again if it's Ancestro, you get another line, and you can reroll those manuals if you would like to get different lines of the affixes. And you can
Okay.
see here is
I
an example
like it.
here. He got 30% Bone Spirit, Necromancer only,
Bone Spirit
tempering
size.
here from his affix. This is where we get into kind of the cool part with the greater affixes, effectively items that drop on the
This is
ground.
what
You
I
have a
like
chance to
very
have
much.
more powerful versions of the affixes that are 1.5 times the maximum row of what that affix would have been. So let's say the max row of life would have been 100. You get a greater one, it is 150, for instance. And you can actually have up to 2 greater affixes, and that will be shown when it actually drops by
Perfecto.
having the number next to it, letting you know how
Oh,
many greater
okay.
affixes this
That's
item
cool.
has. So once again, some clarity of items drop. It really seems like they're focusing on trying to make it where you don't have to dig through so many items on the ground.
Yeah, they
These
are
only
making
drop
it
starting in
simple,
World Tier 3
simple,
and 4,
simple and
obviously,
easy,
and then players cannot enchant
easy to
into a
understand.
greater affix. So if you're trying to enchant over and over and over again, not going to work. They're only drops, which mean you can't
Okay,
min-max with gold to get the exact item you want, but you
okay.
can
Well, that's
enchant
fair.
out of a
That's
greater
fair.
affix. So if you have a greater affix and you enchant that line, then it will remove it to a normal affix. So try not to do
Okay,
that
okay,
mistake.
okay.
Then there is
Guys, do not reforge the masterwork or whatever it's called. Sorry, I'm reading masterwork. Don't reforge the special stats you get. Like you will not get better. You can only get worse. Okay, sorry.
masterworking, which effectively allows you to do 12 upgrade ranks. These every 4 ranks, a single affix is massively upgraded.
Let's
Other
see.
ranks slightly increase the value of all affixes. You can see
It
here
just
what
gives
this screen
all
actually
of
ends up
these
looking like. It
options
increases
now.
your
Give so
affixes,
much
but
in
on
depth
4,
on
8, and
items.
12 masterwork ranks, you're going to be having a significant boost in terms of item power on one of the affix
I
lines,
wonder
which
how
is
many
RNG
materials will
based,
we
and
end up
all
spending.
4, the 8, and the 12, they can all hit the same affix, which means you could triple row onto something really crazy like just damage percentage, for instance. However, while you're doing those rows, the other ranks do continue to increase in value
Slightly up.
across the board
That's
for the
that's
item
fair
as
as
well.
well.
This
Thank
right
you.
here is going to be more of the in-game system in terms of item power structure. It's going to be almost like a gaseous system from games where
Mm-hmm.
you're hitting the ding, 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 and then you try to get the line on the one you want. You do that multiple times with items that were originally really good. Maybe you have ones to start with greater affixes, so upgrading on a greater affix is probably like the ultimate min-max coming to in-game.
Yeah, yeah, I
Something to
understand.
keep in mind is they said the base legendary items and unique items that you get are in fact now tradable. Only uber uniques are not tradable. So acquiring these
Tradable items. Like this will. Hmm. I wonder if we will have a kind of market or will be. I mean, between friends and you give me, I give you, and stuff like that. But I wonder if they don't. They probably will not have a marketplace, so it will be chat spamming, I guess. I played some other game, like maybe I think it's GDMO or Digimon something. Anyway, use a lot of people could open up stores in that game and put items in that store, for sale. But a lot of them for quick money just spam the chat, trade chat. So I think this will be happening now. Yo, I found a super cool item. Anybody want to make offer? But I wonder how you. I guess you can only trade for gold. It would be interesting if you can trade materials or something. Anyway, still great, great, great,
good
great.
items
I
that have
like I
greater
like the
affixes
changes
are
so far.
probably
I
where the
like them.
economy is going to come from if you are a trade type of player. This could actually have widespread implications for the health of the economy, considering that items were so
I was just
bloated
saying,
and there's so
yeah.
many of them and you need so much gold for the enchanting. The trade was a little bit dead. This actually
I
could
wonder how
revive.
that will go now because, as he said, items needed a lot of gold to be rerolled, but now they put a cap on it. So
Trade potentially a little bit. Keep in mind to do the masterworking, you're going to have to do the pit, which we
the
will talk
pit.
about in just a moment. Now, for probably the biggest quality of life change, the Codex of Power now takes all legendary
This is
items.
amazing.
As you
This
put
is
your legendary
a song to
item
my
affixes
ears.
into the Codex of Power, it will upgrade it to whatever your maximum row you've achieved so far is. This allows you to re-row or effectively reuse that legendary affix an infinite number of times, meaning you no longer have to store all of these individual affixes max rows that you have for some future item. They also increase the ranges of the affixes, meaning the floor and the ceiling of these, and then the ranges increase based upon the type of item. So normal, sacred, ancestral. That means while you can get a max row early of one and put it into the codex, that max row is going to be better that you will need to reacquire later on. So if you get a Max Row of a normal, you will need to reacquire a Max Row of a sacred, then a Max Row
Sacred.
of an
Ah,
ancestral.
okay, okay,
So
okay,
there
okay.
is still some progression there.
Okay,
However,
that's
this
that's
will
fair as
be
well. I think that's fair.
saved for your account, and you can reuse these. They also have search terms for this, and this is making this a significant quality of life buff in terms of the acquisition and having to consistently save these items. This is what the
Yep.
screen actually looks like. And if you're wondering what the 1 out of 6, 4 out of 6, etc. screen is, those are those ranges. So as you get the higher range of it, you're going to see what your role of those ranges are.
Mm,
They've also made significant changes to
I
Helltide to
heard
make it
about
more
this as
like the
well.
well-received Season 2 Bloodtide. You're going to generate threat, which is sort of straight from what Bloodtide was. Diane resets the threat, and there are
Okay.
3 Helltide threat tiers. Think of these like Grand Theft Auto stars, for instance, increasing the danger and frequency of monster ambushes. At Tier 3, you become Hellmarked. Achieving
Now,
max threat initiates a brief ambush frenzy of maximum enemy density. The ambush will end with a final Hellborn spawn, immensely powerful agent. So again, this is sort of like the Blood Seekers. For instance, from the Blood Tide, there are 5 variants, each representing a class in Diablo 4. Very similar to
yeah,
Blood Seeker, basically 1 for 1. Upon activating the Hellborn ambush, your threat will reset. So you generate threat, it pops off, a whole bunch of monsters spawn. This will
and then
help,
resets.
hopefully, with making the Hell Tides feel more dense, hopefully help with some experience gain, make it more enjoyable, as well as help you with acquiring your
I wonder
cinders.
how it
This
will
is
work
another
with,
basically
you
mechanic that was
know,
taken from Season 3 as well as the Blood Tide. There's going to be little events that happen throughout the Hell Tide. For
hyper
instance, Baneful
leveling.
Hearts that can be earned through opening towards your chest can be used at the Accursed Ritual
Boneful
location.
hearts.
So it's an ultimate testament to the disturbing lengths of the Maniac Cultist. So this is sort of like, remember those pillars where you take the blood lures and put them in? Very similar type of mechanic we're seeing here. In
Mm-hmm.
fact, this looks somewhat similar
Yeah,
to
yeah,
it.
yeah.
You put in the pieces, sort of
Like the
activation of this
events.
Season 2 mechanic. This is a good way of bringing back a Season 2 core mechanic that we all liked in the Blood Tide. I liked the Blood Tide immediately. It was very
It
well
was good.
received.
It was
It was
good.
much more enjoyable. And I also hate the Hell Tide originally, the OG concept of it. So making the Hell
It
Tide from the
was
Blood Tide might
lacking. It
actually
was
make this
lacking,
enjoyable
but
for me. The farm for when I go to do Forgotten Souls and get cinders and all of the things I kind of have to get anyway, which in turn might make
pink
farming for the
roses.
materials that we need for
Pink
Uber Durio a little bit
roses.
more enjoyable. It's now also in World Tier 1 and 2, so if you want to just level all the way through the Helltide, you can, although torture gifts are mystery chests instead, no roaming bosses and less density
Ah.
overall, making Helltide better at the higher tiers.
Mm-hmm,
Now we
mm-hmm.
get into the pit. This is effectively where you're going to be getting the materials you need to do the masterworking that we explained earlier. The pit, I'm just going to explain this as Gray the Rifts or AOZ.
Yeah.
You go in, you're going to be able to spawn different rifts of levels that will raise, making the monsters more and more difficult with more and more rewards. The way they explain it is upon entering World Tier 4, you'll receive a priority quest to complete a Tier 46 Nightmare Dungeon, which is where this starts. Upon completion, you'll collect rune shards during in-game activities. Collect enough of these rune shards to ultimately activate the obelisk in Saragar. Activating the obelisk since you did the pit. The goal is to slay enough monsters before a 10-minute timer runs out. Each player removes time from the clock. First death removes 30 seconds, second 60, third 90, etc. Slay enough monsters, a portal appears, taking you to the boss's arena.
So it will be, you know, choosing between going solo and having a lot of time to clear it, or having a whole party and less time, but, you know, good coordination and good. Yeah, it leans towards greater rifts from Diablo 3 because even there on high levels you had great coordination with, I don't know, barbarians pulling and, or, you know, just stuff like that. You had a boss killer, elites, AoE killers, stuff like that. So yeah, this I like this the concept that they are adding for now.
Killing the boss grants you
I'm actually just worried about the DLC that's coming out. I will mention that if they don't mention it until the end of the video, so I will mention it later.
masterworking materials for that masterworking that we talked about just earlier. Killing the boss before the 6 minutes spare gives you an additional tier unlock. 6 minutes or more is 2 tier unlocks. Pit has hundreds of tiers of difficulty.
Hundreds.
Master timer expires before you finishing through the pit. You'll still receive the loot, but won't receive your masterworking materials.
I wonder how fast they will be spamming this to clear the highest level.
To complete these, and the pit can be undertaken with groups up to 4, with the player who opened the pit receiving the lion's
I can't
share
wait to
of the
play this
material. That's because the
with
pit does
friends.
cost something to actually open. There's like a key effectively, and only the player who opened the pit has a chance of receiving the material used for summoning the Tormented Echoes, and that is because there is something now called Tormented Echoes in the game with this
I like
boss
this.
ladder update. So let's talk about that. Echo
Andario!
of Endario
Andario
is
landed.
joining the boss ladder. So now we have
Diablo
Endario.
4.
She has the same drop table as Durio. The same
Looks
bracket as her
the
brother
same as
Durio
well.
with the same
I
uber
like
unique
it.
drop rate with a mix of Shadow, Fire, Lightning, and her
I
iconic
still play
poison
Diablo
attack.
2 as well.
Endario stands ready to face all those who dare fathom her demise.
I should
Summoning parts
stream
can
a
be
lot
acquired
more
from Beast and
of
Ice and
Diablo
Lord
content. I
here.
really
So now we
want
have a
to.
reason sort of to do those bosses more outside of their drop tables. And the Tormented Echoes of all ladder bosses can be summoned with the new Stygian
Stygian
stones that are
stones.
obtained
Okay.
from the pit.
Deep.
The stones
Deep.
are needed with
I
an
wonder what
increased
level.
amount of summoning materials, but fear not, they also drop more rewards, so you require more
Okay.
materials, and you get better rewards for these. They are level 200, meaning these are like double difficulty effectively, and all item drops are level 925.
I wonder how that will work because your player level is level 100. You do have the to level stats 12 times, getting random hits on them, random boosts 3 times. You have the double stat, 2 stats can be ultra enhanced or something like that. I'm just simplifying it. So I guess if you get lucky, you could potentially be. I wonder if you can clear a tormented echo. Well, you're probably you will hit level 100 either way, but I wonder how hard it will be to do it. Like I guess they will have a whole lot of more HP and stuff like that. So I like the idea, just cap the player at level 100 and then give him gear boost that he can farm and improve.
Beating your first one, this is a big part, gives you a Resplendent Spark as a first time reward. So
Okay.
I believe that the Tormented Echo is
If you
per
believe it,
boss,
I
is the way
believe
I'm
it.
understanding this. So if you do a Tormented Echo, Durio Tormented Echo, and Dario Tormented, of each one of these ladder style bosses, you should have enough to basically pick an Uber to craft if you defeat them all, which is sort of a guaranteed path to this, is the way I am understanding reading this and the way that it was explained.
Nice.
So we will see if that's
If
correct.
it is like that,
defeating your first Tormented Echo is only a one time and you only get Spark one time. But I was reading this thinking, okay, well, there's multiple of these, which means we can farm multiple first-time sparks. If that is the case, then that is actually a big deal, but we will get clarity on that coming April 2nd here very shortly. Features offered for the testing. Okay, you actually get some bonus stats for the PTR. This is talking about the sort of beta test that we are going to get our hands on here. Campaign completion, mounts and skill points, Fog of War, and all of the Altar of Lilith. So you're not going to need to redo all of those things.
It's now in April, so
instantly have your
I have to find the time for this. I have to,
which will immediately get you the 100 when you just talk to an NPC. You get 100 million gold, 1,000 oboes, random sets of gear at 920. Up to I'm sure you can just re-roll your character until you get the gear you want. Upgraded potions, fully unlocked paragons, 10 temporary manuals.
Basically, you get a battle-ready character.
Does not include materials specifically for the masterworking, scattered prisons.
You have to farm, okay, understandable, I respect that.
So that you do, in fact, test the new pit, is my understanding for this. Materials to enter the pit and Nightmare Dungeon are granted, so we're going to all be farming the pit, testing the pit, seeing how the pit goes, then using that for masterworking.
The pit.
Completed class system mechanics, so you don't have to do those side quests. And this boost can be repeated with new characters, and you can trade between characters as needed. So you can just go over and over and over again, spawn basically everything you need, dump it in the stash, use it for all your characters. Fog of War will be cleared. Additionally, whether you choose to boost your character for the PTR, legendary drop rates will be doubled.
Okay, I have to try this
as well. So this will make it pretty easy for you to be able to log in and even see if you like these itemization changes. I said in one of my prior videos that since this is pretty much the largest change we've had for Diablo 4, I think this is one of those scenarios where if you're looking for someone to wave a flag to tell you, hey, maybe you want to log in and check this one out, it's probably a good time to
This is
even
good
see
time.
if you
This is
like
good
these
time to come
changes.
back to
If you do
Diablo
like the way
4
the changes
and
feel,
give
this
it another
might give you
chance.
some incentive to try out new content as it comes out. If you absolutely hate these itemization changes, you can spare yourself the time and even waiting around, basically. So I think this is about the time to log in and check it out if you're asking my opinion. You can also provide feedback if you want to, and it tells you how to install the PTR to test it for yourself. It'll be in the Battle.net app, very easy. You just hit the little
Ooh,
cogwheel, basically, and there will be a different game version. You
I
click
have I
public
have to
test
do
for
it.
now,
I have to do
sort of
it. I
like
have
you
to do
would for
it.
like going to WoW Classic or normal WoW, etc. So
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
it.
Okay.
There's also going to be class updates, info,
Of course,
patch
there
notes.
will
There
be.
are a ton of upcoming changes still for class updates that we've covered very briefly in the other
Yeah, I did
video.
see them
And when these
changing
actually come
the
out, we
certain
will
skills
break
and
these
stuff like
down as
that,
well. But for now,
especially
these
for
are about
hardcore.
itemization changes, PTR, and the new bosses, as well as hell type updates. All looks pretty good. We'll have to see how it feels when it comes out. So I will see you guys on the live stream or the next video. Thanks for checking out this
You
one.
will be seeing me, and thank you very much. I'm still very thankful to this man. Like he straight to the point, just overall simple, easy to understand. Anyway, I do hope you enjoyed this video, this content that is coming for Diablo 4. I'm not sure if you can see it. I actually am excited because I knew some of the things that will be coming, but okay. I'm pretty impressed by the. We'll see. We'll see when a few days from now they will have the you know play test, and I hope all of these things that he just mentioned that they put out will be in there so they don't change their. Sorry, I thought I would sneeze. Sorry, I apologize for that. Sorry. Uh, if they will add it or maybe have a glitch or a bug or something, I just hope it goes perfectly because I very much enjoy Diablo 4. Let me know in the comments if you enjoy the game, like even if it gets boring after 2 days or a day, but let me know if you enjoy the game. Even I know for a fact that him, Darth, enjoyed chose the Diablo 4 druid class, chose the druid. He was like, okay, everybody hated it, I will play it. And for me, druid is something that Diablo 3 had to have. Had to have. Diablo 2 was amazing experience for me in so many ways, like both the old and remastered. I love it. I enjoyed it. It was the very first game I played on my very first PC. Very, very enjoyable time. Druid, my first pick. Necromancer, second. Sorcerer's, third. Not having Necromancer and Druid in Diablo 3 disappointed me, but they did add the Necromancer on the side. It would be interesting if they added Druid as well, but for whatever reason they didn't. Anyway, okay, amazing game. Druid here felt so freaking amazing to play. Yes, Rex had like the meme of 17 damage, 17, 17, 17. Okay, okay, but it felt so great that my first build, my very first, sorry for speaking about this, but just have to mention my very first build was Wolves, the Serpent, Vine, Hurricane, stuff like that. Just going full on AoE, just whole bunch of monsters, slap them with AoE, done. Not too much damage. Not. I mean, I very much enjoyed the storyline and leveling up. Later, as I was nearing the, before the season, non-seasonal start, um, the pre-season or whatever you want to call it, uh, like level 70ish, I started to feel the difference in, that my build is not the build. But anyway, I chose Pulverize. It was amazing. It felt so great. If you did not, it's not the best build. By far not the best build, tankiness or damage output or anything, but just feels good. Looking forward to Path of Exile 2, but let's save that for another video. So, again, if you found my video through this guy, thank you very much. I would appreciate a like, at least a like. If you feel like it, leave a subscribe. If you did not find me through this guy, check out the comments below and the description. You will find Darth Microtransactions YouTube channel. So do that. Once again, big thanks to this guy, very to the point, specific, and oh my god, I just, yeah, I'll be in his stream probably sometime later. Anyway, once again, thank you very much for watching. Hope you have a great day, and I'll be seeing you in Diablo 4. See ya.